So we've got 4 Shadows cards in hand and 2 Logos cards in hand. Jagex is asking, first time seeing Crucible play. How's the interface and overall community on there? The interface is pretty solid. Maybe a little bit clunky at very first, but once you kind of get the hang of it, it's great. It works. It works really good. The community is touch and go. I find on here. There's often, like, you're playing random people, right, and random faceless people, so it's tough sometimes to get situations. If you're running away with a game, you get people quitting or just rage quitting and whatnot. I mean, it happens in any game, but I find that the less um, interactive an interface is, the less of a connection you have with your opponent, and the more likely they are to disconnect and not play out a game. Which I don't know if that's happening now. Maybe Drake cometh got annoyed. Oh, here we go. So he's chosen a house now. But yeah, like, sometimes you get people getting upset and just quitting. If you get out ahead of them, um, which he might be doing to me here, playing 4 Logos creatures on his first turn. So he had obviously a really good hand. Anything we're super concerned about here? Osmo Martianologist. He's got 2 of those, which I'm not concerned with. Quixo the Adventurer is probably the annoying one out of here. So, what do we do? He has no Amber. Maybe we just play these Shadows cards and gain a handful of Amber that way. I think that's what we'll do. So we'll play both those creatures. We'll play a Ghostly Hand just for the 2 Amber. And I'll play a Pawn Sacrifice, sacrificing my Urchin. And I'll get rid of Quixo the Adventurer and one of these Martianologists. And my turn there. Yeah, so that being said, I mean, I would recommend more often than not to play somebody you know. Touch base with people on maybe on Discord or Facebook, or some of your friends that might want to meet up with you and play against you to test some decks, that sort of thing. I'm more often than not, I'm on here playing random people, but when I can, I prefer to play people that I know. It just makes it a little bit more of a consistent testing grounds, rather than ending up playing against random people and quitters and that sort of thing. But it's no better or worse than playing any other game online where you're playing random people. Let's see. Yeah, I think we go Logos here. I can kill both of those creatures, gain a few Amber, and play out 4 cards, which is never a bad thing. So let's get this artifact out here. We'll play Neurosiphon. If my opponent has more than me, I get to steal one and draw a card. But when I played that card, I kind of equaled him in Amber, and therefore I don't get that bonus. I will play Twin Bolt Emission, dealing 2 to each of those creatures, killing them, and Doc Booked in. And we'll end our turn there. So Harley 2K, which is somebody that I guess we've never met in person, Elgin, but we've had a lot of chats and talks, and in Star Wars Destiny, and now we're both kind of playing Keyforge. And he's saying that in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, he's got about 20 players now at the LGS, which is great. But we definitely have to get together at some point here. We're not too far apart, so we should make it happen. All right. And here's the other thing with playing online in the interface. It's easy to not pay attention and see what your opponent actually did. So you can go in the chat here and kind of scroll through and see exactly what's been done. So he played Ammonia Clouds, dealing 3 to each creature, which is why my board has been more or less wiped. And he's played a Yzili Marauder and a Ylix Dominator. Let's see. I think maybe we play Logos. I can draw 2 cards by using that artifact and reaping, and I drew 2 more Logos cards, which is fantastic. So I'm going to play another Doc Bookton. What the heck? Let's go for the Wild Wormhole. Let's see what we get. And we got another Snudge, which is great. Super annoying Snudge. We'll play a Brain Eater, and we'll play that Neurosiphon again, which gets me up to 7 Amber. So let's see. He's playing Shadows, so I'm not confident I'll be able to forge a key here. But we shall see. How's the quality looking in terms of sound? And can you guys see everything good enough? Everything sounds okay? Right on. You like my Westworld hat? Pretty cool, eh? Yeah, let me know if there's if you guys have a hard time seeing or hearing me, if the sound's off or whatever. Can try to make adjustments. Bullet Eye. Smiling Ruth. These look like some scary creatures. So I did manage to forge a key despite him having 4 Shadows cards in hand. So Bullet Eye is elusive and allows him to destroy a flank creature when he reaps, which is very scary. Smiling Ruth is also elusive, 1 power, reap. If you forged a key this turn, take control of an enemy flank creature. Okay, so 2 creatures that we'll probably want to deal with at some point. So I've got a fistful of discards, but I've got a bunch of Logos cards on the table. I've said this before. I think I'm going to make hay while the sun shines and use the creatures I have on the board. So let's start by drawing that card. I'd like to get rid of Bullet Eye at the very least. Oh, I can't. That's right. The Ylix Dominator. Well, now I've already clicked on fight. That's unfortunate. Oh well, let's get rid of Smiling Ruthie then. That allowed me to draw a card. I keep drawing discards. And I think I'll reap here as well. Whole bunch of discards. Okay. Take care, Elgin. Thanks for checking it out. Have a good Christmas. And as expected, Bullet Eye has reaped and taken out one of my creatures. Oh boy, he's got a lot of scary Shadow's creatures out now. Okay, well, let's play out these, let's play out this fistful of, discards. So he's got the bullet eye, so I want to make sure that my creatures that I don't care about the most are on the flanks. So I'm going to play, yeah, I'm just going to leave this dock booked in on the flank and cancel that. I'll play Snudge. I'll play this creature. I'll play Tentacus. Schuler, play if your opponent has 4 or more, steal one. So I stole one, taking him down to 5 amber, so that'll keep him from forging a key. I'm going to discard this key hammer. And I think I'm going to discard this Annihilation Ritual as well. I haven't quite figured out how to play that card, but as much as I want the amber printed on it, it's just too scary, especially with a Rise in my deck. I want to be able to bring my creatures back as needed. But the Annihilation Ritual is an artifact, and when the creature would enter a discard pile from play, it is purged instead. So basically, as soon as creatures die, they just go away forever, which is a scary thing. So I'm not going to play it for now. Maybe when I have a better handle on this deck and how to play it, I'll do that. So now I've drawn into an Urchin, a Dodger, bait and switch into for Shadows. Which is good. I can take them down to under 6 amber, most likely. So he's killed Tentacus and Snudge, which was expected. Oh, he's got himself up to 11 amber now. So definitely going to bait and switch there. Up to 12. And a pretty scary board, if I'm honest. Yeah, I think I have no choice but to play Shadows here. So I'm going to bait and switch him. Got him down to 7. He's probably still going to forge here, but at least I'm giving him a hard time about it. And I'm putting myself in a position to forge as well. So I've played out Urchin here, stole one, Shadow Self here, in between Dodger and Urchin. Basically, when Dodger fights, he steals one. So I want to be able to use him multiple times because Shadow Self will be taking the damage from the Dodger. And I think that's all I can do for this turn. So he's still going to forge here, but I managed to steal a whole bunch of amber from him. So we still haven't seen One Last Job, and I have 5 cards left in my draw pile. So it's coming up, which is great. You kind of want to see that card mid to late game anyways. So I'll be able to arise all my Shadows creatures. And I drew my Gateway to Dis finally as well, which is great. To clear that board, that huge board state that he's got going on. Okay, so this is perfect. I'll be able to play a Dis turn here using 3 cards from hand, hoping to draw that One Last Job. I have 2 creatures on the board plus a Dominator Bauble that I can use. I can use the Pit Demon to steal 1, keeping him from forging a key. and then I can gateway to Dis, and I think I'll wait maybe one more turn before I yeah, before, because I want to get that one last job in my hand before I arise, I think. We'll see. We'll see what this turn looks like. So let's go Dis. We will definitely steal one. No reason not to just reap here because everything is about to die. Use this card's action ability. I want to reap with Doc Bookton because I'm hoping to draw. I did not. I was hoping to draw one last job. I'll play Flame Weathered for the Amber onto, doesn't really matter, I suppose. And then, yeah, I think we'll Gateway. Gaining a chain, meaning I don't draw here. What I could do is also just arise all of my disc creatures and play them out right now. That would be pretty devastating. I mean, I think I'm forcing one last job here. It's not really necessary. Maybe the right play is just to arise all my disc creatures. How many do I have in here? Let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's up, Esky0014? Welcome. What do you guys think? Try to pull off the the fun stealing one last job, or by waiting one more turn, or do I arise now and play all my disc creatures? Let's see what you have to say. This guy's gonna get annoyed, but what the heck? Let's have some fun. There's a little bit of a delay from live to the chat, so I'm just waiting for somebody to respond. Whoever responds first is going to get. All right, I'm just going to rise my dis if I don't. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's just do that. And let's be super annoying and play that guy. We'll play Schuler, which steals 1. We'll play Pit Demon. We'll play Snudge. And we'll play Tentacus on the outside. And end the turn there. Got myself up to 6 Amber with that steal. And a pretty solid board state. So we'll see if Drake Cometh has an answer. He's asking me what took so long. Sorry, Drake Cometh. He's calling it. Good game. I guess he didn't quite have the answer. Not quite enough stealing, I think, in his Shadows package. Lots of really good creatures, but unfortunately, he didn't seem to have Yeah, my absolute last card was one last job. All right, let's jump into another game here and see if we can get one of those one last job plays off. That's what I really want to do for you guys. Here we go. Okay, let's see if we can. Oh, there we go. Mrs. Holiday. 1-0 with Mrs. Holiday. All right, Annihilation Ritual. I feel like just throwing that out there and seeing what a game with an Annihilation Ritual on the board looks like. But I think it goes against. I think it's one of those cards that just goes against the strategy of the deck. It might be really good in other decks, but it doesn't seem to fit what this deck wants to do, at least at first glance. So I think I will mulligan so that I can maybe start off with a better. So we got Succubus. So always a fan of playing that guy first, limiting my opponent's draw after their first turn. Oh, I forgot to end my turn. I often do that on my first turn. Alright, so he stunned Succubus with a Tremor, which is fine. Succubus isn't out there to really not do a whole lot other than just annoy you at your draw phase. Let's see. I think we'll go Dis and just play this upgrade on Succubus and remove his stun and leave it at that for now. Do I want to keep Gateway? It's so early to draw that card. Mind you, he's got Brobnar. I think against Brobnar, might be a good idea to hang on to that for a couple more turns just to see. Sometimes Brobnar decks can just really get out of hand in terms of board presence and board control. So I think maybe I'll hang on to. I think I'll just hang on to Gateway for now. All right, let's see what you got. We're playing After Yule. I guess this is a very thematic stream on Christmas Day. because his name is after Yule, and I'm playing a deck called Mrs. Holiday on this Christmas Day. Oh, he made me capture an amber from my own side with Mind Warper and Squawker. That's rude. So this is a good opportunity to play these Neurosiphons. So we're going to do that. Stealing, I'll only be able to steal one. I wonder. Kind of a tough spot. I'll be able to steal one and draw one card. And then play a second one for the amber. It's not terrible. Yeah, I guess that's just based on the cards in my hand. There's not a whole lot of better things that I could do there. That's going to be that. All right, let's see. Choosing House Brobnar. He got to peek at my hand with Deep Probe a while ago, so he knows I've got a Gateway. And he knows I have a Rise. Man, that Mind Warper is annoying, though. Okay, let's go Shadows. And I think I'm going to sacrifice Dodger to kill the Mind Warper. And I'll play Ghostly Hand for 2 amber, getting me up to 6. I like getting up to that number 6 and forcing my opponent to have an answer. It often means that they'll play a house or a set of cards that is not fully optimal for them, just to try to slow you down. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for worse, but putting that pressure on is often a good thing, more often than not. Okay. So he's played a Crazy Killing Machine, 2 Spectral Tunnelers, a Ganymede Archivist, and a Titan Mechanic. Tough choice here. Tough choice indeed. I think with all those Crazy Killing Machine, discard the top card of each player's deck. For each of those cards, destroy a creature or artifact of that card's house, if able. If 2 cards are not destroyed as a result of this, destroy Crazy Killing Machine. Yeah. So I'm going to put Tentacus out there. So Tentacus, your opponent must pay you a resource to use an artifact. He just put 4 on the board. So maybe I'll be able to get some use out of them. Again, I'm gonna discard Annihilation Ritual, and geez, these two cards are really clogging up my hand. But I'm gonna wait one more turn before I decide what to do with them. So after this game, my friend Sean Kelly is going to join me. I don't know whether or not I'll be able to get him on voice. I'll make a quick attempt at it. But regardless, he's going to jump on and play a game or two with us. Sean Kelly of the Sean Kelly Open Decks Market. I forget exactly what he calls his business, but he opens up tons of packs and sells open decks via offer, and he does a great job. I've bought some decks off of him. In fact, I believe this is a deck that I've bought off of him myself. So, yeah, thanks, Sean, for everything you do for the community, and it'll be fun to have you on with me. Sean, if you want to share the link to your Google Doc where all your decks are for sale on the Facebook page under my post for this stream. And if you want to post it in the chat on the Twitch chat, you're welcome to do that. That is a personal plug, not a Cast of the Archons yeah, so that's a personal endorsement, not a Cast of the Archons endorsement, just for the record. But either way, Sean does some great things for the community, hosts lots of giveaways and stuff like that too. So keep an eye out for what he's doing if you're a fan of the game. Let's see, what do I have in my discard pile here? Only 2 disc creatures, only 2 shadows creatures. That Arise is really not doing it for me. Okay, I think we're going to go Gateway. And we're going to go Dominator Bauble. And I'm going to hang on to that Arise for a little bit and see what happens. Okay, so now he's playing, he's played 2 Doc Booktons. We both have a Key Forged. He's got 1 Amber, I have 0. He's got a board full of artifacts and 2 creatures on the board. So I'm going to play Logos. I'm going to play Wild Wormhole. Hope that I get something good. I got a bait and switch, which is not ideal. Ugh, that's painful. Oh well, that's the risk you take when you play that card. Did I steal one at least? Nope. I didn't even steal 1 Amber. And I'll play a Twin Bolt Emission, doing 2 damage to each of his Doc Booktons. And then draw 3 more cards. All right, after Yule, your move. So far, it's a close game. I'm struggling to kind of get anything going here. Um, he's done a good job with his deck, but I've managed to keep up in terms of amber and keys at the very least. All right, Logos. So, what he's done here is he's got two Spectral Tunnelers, which, as an action, he can choose a creature on the board, and that creature gains Reap Draw card. So he's used both his Spectral Tunnelers on each of his Dock Bookdens, which also have Reap Draw card. So I believe when he reaped, he drew two cards for each Dock Bookden. Not too bad. So I've got a sloppy lab work here, which I think is going to help me get to where I'm trying to go, which is basically cycling through my deck and getting to the cards I need to get to. So we're going to go Logos. I'm going to draw a card first with Library of Babel. Picked up a Schuler, which is fine. I'm going to play a Dock Bookden of my own. And I'm going to play this sloppy lab work. And I'm going to archive Arise. And I'm going to discard Naughty the Thief. Only because I have two disc creatures in my hand, and I'm more likely to play Dis than Shadows at this point. So drew into a third disc creature, and I've got another Wild Wormhole and a Valen Analyst, which when I use an artifact, I gain one. So we'll see what happens here. He's got a Valen Analyst on the board as well, and he's got a ton of artifacts that he can use. So he could really do some big amber gains here. We'll see how he does. Yeah, that's exactly what he's done. Yeah, so he's pulling the same trick as last time. Used his Spectral Tunnelers on his Dock Bookdens, and then using his Dock Bookdens to basically draw a ton of cards. He's got 13 cards in hand now, and 7 amber. Make that 8 amber. So he used his Crazy Killing Machine. Which destroyed his Gauntlet of Command and his own Crazy Killing Machine. He didn't touch any of my stuff. So, Crazy Killing Machine will do that sometimes. But he's got himself 9 amber. I need to cycle through my deck here in a hurry. Let's see. I just don't have a ton of creatures in my discard. It's like they're all in my draw. Sean's getting a sneak peek at my deck here before he plays against it. I see your plan, Sean. I see what you're doing. Yeah, I think I'm gonna play Logos. Get that Valen Analyst out there. Use Library of Babel so that I can draw a card and gain an amber from the Valen Analyst. I'm gonna play Wild Wormhole. Yeah, there we go. And I can play an Urchin here to steal one. And then I'm going to reap with Doc Bookton. And drew another Logos card, which is great, which is a Chaos Portal artifact. So I'll play that out there. And now the board's not looking so bad. And I have 7 Amber to his 8. So we're both threatening to forge a key here on our next turn. Although he's in a position to just blow me out here because he's got his entire deck in his hand. And as he does the double Spectral Tunneler, double Doc Bookton, next turn he'll be able to draw even more cards. So we'll see. We'll see how this turns out, but I don't think I'm in a great position here, although I did finally draw one last job. Let's see if I finally pull that off. I don't even care if I lose. I just want to pull it off. Yeah, he's going to get himself over 6 again, and I'm not sure I have an answer at all here. I do have the ability to steal 1. He's got himself at 7. So I don't think... Mind you, I do have Keyhammer in hand here too, so maybe we'll discover together. Yeah, I think this works. So if we choose Dis... Yeah, I think this might be fun right here. Okay, here we go. We're going to choose Dis, and we're going to play... yes, we want to draw Arise. So I'll take Arise out of my archives. And... I'm going to play Schuler, and that steals 1. I'm going to play Keyhammer to unforge one of his keys. So now he's back down to 1 key. So that basically stalls him out a whole turn. Okay, so now I'm starting to see, I guess early game, when you're unforging their first key, doesn't really make that much of a difference because immediately once your turn ends, they just forge it right back. But in this scenario, I'm stalling him a whole turn, forcing him to be able to forge 2 turns in a row, where I'm hoping to get myself at a point where I can forge my last key before he does. And then I'm going to use my Dominator Bauble to use Doc Bookton to... reap because I want to draw another card. That's perfect. And then I'm going to Arise all of my Shadows creatures. Beautiful. And then I'll be able to use one last job to steal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, assuming all of these creatures are on the board next turn. So let's see. I've got myself to 4 Amber. He's reforged that key. He's choosing House Mars. First time in a long time he hasn't chosen Logos. Again, I'm not too concerned if I lose this game, but if I can pull off this one last job, I think that'd be really fun. I'm excited. That's the fun thing about this game. You look at a deck, you kind of look at the combos, and you know, you jump into a local game store or on Crucible and you play it a handful of times and see if you could pull off those combos, see how consistent they are. And in game 2 here, I'm going to be able to pull it off. Now, whether or not he forges his last key before me, it remains to be seen. But I'm feeling somewhat confident here. So he's played a Mother Gun out there. He's played Blip Bip. Um, his next Mars creature he puts into play will come into play ready. Okay, he's used sample collection to um, to archive 2 of my creatures, and he didn't touch Urchin, which is all I really care about right now. So I wonder if he's got a key abduction in this deck. If he does, he's going to be able to win right now, because he's got enough cards in hand and enough Mars creatures on the board to be able to do it. I think that's the only way he gets out of this game, with a W. Let's hope he doesn't, because then I won't be able to... do my one last job. Okay, so he's done a crazy Mars turn. He was able to put in a Blip Bip onto the board, ready with a soft landing, and then Blip Bip to ready something else, and all sorts of crazy tricks that Mars does. He's got himself up to 9 amber, and put me in check for his last key. And now this should be super fun. So let's play out all of these Shadows creatures. Urchin to steal 1. Urchin to reap. And then the rest of these don't really matter where they go, because I'm about to purge them all. And here we go. One last job. Play. Purge each friendly Shadows creature. Steal 1 for each creature purged this way. And I'm going to steal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which will get him down to 2 amber, and will get me up to 12 amber. 13 amber, because one last job gains an amber itself. Okay, so let's see if he has an answer for that. That was a lot of fun. After Yule says, whoa, in the chat. Been trying to set that up. Cool, that was fun. Let's see if he's got an answer. Yeah, so after Yule says, that's sweet. Well, I think it won you the game. So that was a super fun game. So basically, Keyhammer and Arise in one turn to bring all of my Shadows creatures back to my hand. Play out, was it 5 or 6 Shadows creatures, and then one last job to steal 6, I think it was, for the win. So that was as I wrote here in the chat, super fun game, very close one. So he's playing Logos. He's going to play it out, see if maybe he can pull something off here. Good game after Yule. So I'm just telling him here to to check out the cast of the Archon's Twitch channel, because this was live streamed. So after you, thanks for being a good sport. That was a really fun game. Your deck is really scary with those spectral tunnelers and that combination with the Doc Bookends. Really well done. That combo with Doc and Tunneler is great. Good game, well played.